Dear listener,
Welcome to our first episode of Penthouse. We are your co-host, Pam.
and Arshita. In today's episode, we're basically going to be unpacking the good, bad, the ugly, and everything in between of our first 6 months after graduation. We both graduated at the mid to end of May. It's been a wild ride. There's been a lot of highs and lows since then, and we just want to keep it real with you about what post graduation looks like today.
I mean, Arshita, you said it best, right? What post-grad looks like. And I think to start us off, I wanted to talk about go over like the rose bud thorn. And this is something, I guess, to give a little insight to our listeners that we would do this. We became ARLCs, like we were in our grad year. I don't know if many people understand that, but let's just say we were like mini supervisors, but full-time supervisors. And being with our RAs, we would have weekly or bi-weekly, monthly meetings, I would say. Arshita knows what I'm talking about. We would have these meetings, and at the very beginning, we would do rosebud thorn. And so for our rose, it's something good that happened, and our bud is something that's in the works, in progress. Whereas our thorn, like Arshita described it best, is our thorn in the side. Like what is something that we don't like. To start off, I mean, Arshita, would you like to start? And then
No, no,
I'll
you gotta go.
Okay. So, for me, I would say what's going good. This podcast truly I think this podcast has been really something that's been in the works that we've talked about for quite some time. It's been on our actual vision board, and the fact that it's being actually done, we're making our first episode right now. Incredible. And to me, I think that just keeps me going in the midst of all the life, I would say, that's happening. From there, the bud would be what's in the works, what's in progress. Well, we both graduated with our masters, and in the works, I would say, is like law school, trying to the aspiration of becoming a lawyer and applying for law school. So that's very much in the works, studying for my LSAT. Very much do not like logical reasoning questions. We're going through it, guys. But yeah, and we're also excited to talk about all that's happening as well. We're not gonna shy away from any topic and really use both of our knowledge and have our opinions as well as facts into this. But oh my God, sorry, we have both ADHD and we just tend to deviate from like everything, I think. So more like, anyways, I would say our thorn, something that I didn't like. Work, to keep it quite real with you guys, work is not, I think that's something that we'll really unpack later on, right? How reality really looks like in comparison to what we thought it was going to be. And work is probably one of those biggest things. And I say work is different from like career because it's just a job for me at this point. But I will keep yapping, and that's the one thing about us. We're certified yappers, and I cannot wait to hear what Arshita has to say as well.
I would say my rose is definitely just having time back. I feel like in college everything is so rushed. And like
Hmm.
post grad, and there were good and bad parts about this. Like you just get to exist outside of schooling, and you get to exist outside of your clubs and work or whatever else you do on the side. And it's just not as like crazy. Like it's a normal amount of crazy, not like the overdrive that we go on as students.
Hmm.
I would say my bud is most probably the independent projects that I've been working on. We'll get into the thorn of like working a job that you don't really have any interest in, or it wasn't your like primary choice, rather. I think that's the better way of putting it.
Right.
But I feel like being able to work on my independent projects allows me to feel passionate about something that I'm doing. And it also builds me up for success down the line when I do pivot more into a route that I preferred. And so I would say that is my bud. And then my thorn is definitely just like the emotional toll of like being at home and losing some of like the good parts of college, like
Hmm.
being within walking distance of your favorite places and your favorite people, not necessarily having like the same independence as you did before. And then there's like there's a bunch of different ways that people put this online, but it's kind of like when you come home, you're trying to like fit into old clothes that just don't fit the same way they used to. Um,
I love
because you
that
live so many different
metaphor.
lives when you're outside, and now you're back and you have to fit into the same bubble, but you kind of outgrew it. So I think navigating that, and we can definitely unpack that later,
Yes.
is probably the biggest thorn in my side right now.
Oh my God, I mean, you said it best, honestly. Girl, we're like queen. Where do I even begin to like unpack, right? Having to go back home. I think that's one of the questions that we were both talking about
Yeah.
and kind of like unpacking just earlier of what's it like. And I would say that's probably like one of the biggest challenges for me. It's still learning to be back home. But before we go into all of that, I mean, I also want to talk about like what did like our like I guess what did our ideal post grad life look like in comparison into what reality is now? Because that's something that we really do want to like we need to address, right? It's
Yeah.
because I'm gonna say it straight, what I had in mind, what I'm living right now, no, it is
They're
not.
not matching up now.
No, I was like 2 plus 2 is not equaling 4 right
Mhm.
now. In the simplest terms, but I think really diving into like what did our ideal life look like? What did we think that we were gonna do in terms of career, in terms of just personal aspirations? I feel as though growth. Yeah, I can also start off with like how like my I think or we can go back and
Yeah, no,
forth.
go for it. No, literally go for it. I yapped for a minute there.
No, I girl, that's the whole point. That's guys,
That's
we're
true. That is
certified
true.
yappers. I would say my ideal life, what I thought was gonna look like. I for some reason I was gonna say oh, definitely not at home. I was
Yeah.
like, no, guys, I'm not gonna be back home. I was looking at finding other ways to either becoming maybe like what do they call it, like an RLC or like a
Mhm.
director of sorts to then get housing through that way. Has even thought about, getting roommates, and that's something that we talk about
Yeah.
as like a future plan goal. Very exciting, but being back home definitely was not what my post grad life looked like. I'm thinking, high rise. I'm thinking New York. I'm thinking traveling. I'm
Yeah.
like luxury, success, all of that good stuff, guys. And not that it's not coming and not that it doesn't look like that, I would say right now. Because we're still in New York. I
Mhm.
best believe the proximity of us like in Jersey. I would also say I am like part New Yorker because I always say this because I'm like there every weekend. But that's something else. That's a whole other, what is it, topic. And I mean, like in terms of career, at least for me, to be candid, I really wanted to be more in the legal realm of things, either working for a firm or being something, either a paralegal, because that's more towards my career and my goal. I wanted work that was more purposeful. I mean, in terms of personal growth, even just like discipline, I wish I think my post grad life looked like I was more disciplined. I
Yeah.
had more, what is it? I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna do dancing. I'm gonna do this, I'm volunteering, and I'm doing those things, but it's kind of like haphazardly in a weird way. And then there are things that are not done yet. I even said, like, what is it, cooking? I wanted to take that on. I think all these hobbies, and I have been substituting it with other hobbies, but post grad, I mean, what is it? Just having that independence, that freedom, just being, I would say, like healthy. I can go on and on. I don't know, this idea that I had in my mind, and not that it's wrong, but we're just working towards it. I think we all have different versions of success and how that looks like for us. But, we're successful right now. It's a different version.
Yeah, no. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear anyone in the background. My family's really loud. I feel so.
One of the things that, happens when you live at home, guys, your
Yeah, no,
time.
I was gonna keep smiling and nodding and hoping that you didn't hear them.
It's okay. I think like Arshita said this best. I remember this other day she was like, "Yeah, like your time isn't your time when you're back at home." And I was like, "Yes, you put it
Mhm.
so perfectly." I think that's the one thing I don't know, for me at least, like before, like Arshita, I want you to also talk about what was your ideal life look like the challenges of
We'll
that.
we'll get to it. Don't worry. There a lot of this conversation is kind of circular. Or like we'll be bouncing from question to question.
I'm gonna say because I think like that's one of the challenges. I don't know, at least like I don't know if you could tell me, but or we could talk about
Yeah.
it, but just not anymore having really that independence. I guess just being able like I don't know how to describe the feeling of being able to go back to a place where it was your own home. You didn't
Mhm.
have nobody there of that. I didn't have to tell anybody anything. I didn't have to respond to anybody or do anything of that sort. And it was just that comforting, like feeling that you had from having your own home, your own space. It was just very liberating. And now you're telling me I'm back home and I hear what is it, either my sister or my brother from that background or my mom telling me something.
Yep.
And I'm like, wait, but I'm 23 years old. What do you mean? I feel like I'm grown.
You're 23, but you're their kid.
talk about it. And I think that's also something that we're going to talk about in later episodes. Like Arshita and I have talked about living with our parents in the sense of what is it, being that they are immigrants. It's and you know, being that they are, how would I describe it? Just I wouldn't even know, like I would say like at least for us, like strict parents. Like I don't know how would you describe, but yeah, that's also something, another layer, I would say another facet of like being back at home. There's so many facets, I feel as though like layers. I like to say it's like an onion. It's just so complex and we keep peeling. But we're trying our absolute best being at home and doing what we can.
Okay, I think I differed from you in the sense that it was always in my plan to move back home after graduation.
Hmm.
I was not trying to move out like immediately after I moved back. Partially because I wanted to spend some time with my family. I
Mm.
figured once I move out, like I'm probably not coming back home unless something bad
Mm.
happens. And these might be the last years that I like get to like live with them and like have the experience of being that close to them.
Mm.
So I wanted to make the most of that. And also, sorry, it just financially made more sense to be at home for a bit.
No, it's
Especially
real.
because entry level pay really isn't like it's not giving like I'm gonna rent my own place and like to like everything.
No,
It
hence
was
is
one
that my
thing
thing.
for context. Pam mentioned the terms like ARLC and RLC. We were the terms basically mean residence life coordinator and then it's assistant residence life coordinator. As grad students, we were the assistants basically. But one of the perks of that was having university provided housing with utilities
Hmm.
covered and everything. And so it was fine when that was the case, but doing it on your own, I think, would require a little bit more of like building myself up financially and like stabilizing a bit before doing it. So yeah, I did foresee living at home for at least part of my future. I think the number one place that I diverged was I was really vying for a job in journalism or like communications
Yeah,
related, and I didn't get that. I feel
same.
like I feel like I was a little rushed in my job applications. I think
Mm.
I was getting personally tired of being unemployed. It was the first time I'd ever been unemployed since I've started working, and it was also, I think my parents were getting tired of me sitting around doing nothing. So I took a job that like it's a good job and I'm very grateful for it and I love the people there, but it wasn't my like ideal career trajectory. So I think that's probably the number one place. I did go back to the hobbies that I said I would, which I am really happy about. I just think that like coping with the reality of that, like what time and like physical constraints that puts on you while you kind of don't have any structure or you're still trying to build that discipline that you need that you like don't really have anymore, um, is probably where I didn't end up doing what I wanted. I feel like that was a really long way of saying, uh, basically that like I wanted to go back to all these activities and I did, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't have the same motivation or energy or drive
Mm.
that I did when I was doing this many activities in college.
Yeah.
Um, and I didn't foresee that part, like being a
Mm.
barrier until it started happening after graduation.
I mean, talk about graduation, we talk about the burnout itself, right? Like how you're talking about like not having that same motivation, the same feeling of like continuing, or you are continuing these hobbies and you're doing that, but not feeling the same. And I think that kind of goes coincides what you were saying about being back at home and fitting like trying these old clothes,
Yeah.
but they don't fit anymore. But really we're reconciling with that. And so how does that look like? And I really do feel like you put it in a beautiful way, like of trying to figure out, you're figuring out life with like haphazardly, with like all these constraints at the same time, with no real structure, no real guidance, and we're doing our best. What is it? Also taking into account the financial constraints because, like you said, in this day and age, no, guys, rent is crazy. You can barely like afford anything, and that is true. I was,
The cost of
my
everything
God,
is up. Like, even if I wanted to rent something, like I have to figure out how to pay for like basic needs, and that's almost impossible
no.
right now.
I was
Like,
gonna say, hence, I was like, honestly, guys, that's what I was writing. I was ready to go to another university. I was gonna pivot and really try to, like how Rashida said, like the job is one aspect that I guess, oh my gosh, what you were talking about, like your parents, like asking consistently and being like waiting and like asking about
yeah,
how are job applications going and everything. Guys,
every day.
that in itself, let me tell you, I could not. Like, I felt like, I guess, like just working through the feelings of like not feeling enough or not
Mhm.
doing enough, it feels like in the midst of like also trying to like do just every day-to-day things because our grad year in itself was interesting.
Yeah,
I would say
I'm sure we'll
good.
get to that eventually. I'm sure we'll get to the reality of what working there and going to school there meant.
No, I mean, because there's so much to, I
Hmm.
feel as though just unpack in that in itself, like from just, we could just unpack so much within our grad year and then to like our entire, like, what is it, batch, like our 4 undergrad years.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. But what is it, in the midst of just trying to do day to day applying, parents having that, I mean, there's so many pressures, there's so many like external factors that like to your point, I mean, honestly, I feel like sometimes for me, and this is quite candidly, it paralyzes me. I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's so much, like where do I start? I want to do so many things. I feel
Hmm.
like I just said I want to do all these hobbies and like having picked up like one of these things, like we talk about junk journaling. We have so
Yeah.
many like arts and crafts hobbies that we share, guys. Like I love it. And that's like our you'll see our content too. But not the point. What is it? Yeah, but doing all these hobbies, but also trying to find the time what is it in the midst of like doing that? Oh my gosh, there's like it's not easy. Also, like just taking care of yourself. Like you have to make sure like you're fulfilling your basic what is it? I always say the basic needs of like your hierarchy of needs, like food, water, like sleep. But also what is it? Having this mindset of having to hustle, especially in this day and age where it's not easy. And I feel as though the system, oh, not to get political, but the system is kind of like built on you not wanting to succeed and having you work hard and consistently trying to achieve something that like you're like a hamster on wheels, trying to always like get ahead and we're not. I mean, that's the reality. It's like they call like what is it, your bachelor's like your new diploma, like your new high school diploma, and I'm like, that's crazy. Or she'd have touched upon entry level jobs. Another thing that's crazy, they want you to like start you off at like an entry level pay, entry level job, but then when you have like 3 to 5 years experience, want you to have all these things and want you to do so many of that. I mean, we can also unpack knowing your worth, I think, in
Hmm.
terms of a like personal, I would say, but also like not selling yourself short within your career and within your future and what you do and what you know, because they will try to play you. I was gonna say corporations, the businesses, they will. And I think we can also talk about that in other episodes. I feel like we have so much. I mean, yeah, reality looks quite different, I would say, from what we both thought what it was gonna look like. I mean, I know what can I even go from like how what reality looks like. What does reality look like now? I guess you can say in comparison. We were talking about idealized version.
Honestly, if I'm keeping it real with myself, my day to day is usually like working my 9 to 5
Hmm.
job, which is like more admin focused. I don't want to like lay out all the details of my work publicly.
Right, right, right. Guys, there's still some privacy. I
Yeah.
was gonna say.
But yeah, a lot of it's like admin or like documentation. That's kind of like the brunt of my day. In the evening, usually start working on one of my projects. So either it's like social media is a big one right now. Next semester, it's going to, well, it's the program like follows like a semester schedule. So like I'm gonna go with
Hmm.
next semester. It's my like anti-AI slash ethical AI use
Hmm.
project. So I'll probably do that in the evening. A lot of my classes are in like the night too.
Hmm.
Classes meaning like extracurricular classes, not like academic classes. And then on the weekends, it's usually going and seeing my friends. On a good day in my life, I'll probably be like on my in-person day, so I'm in the city and I get to go and enjoy my life like after 5 p.m. and go explore. So there is some good in there for sure, but I think it's just become kind of routine now.
Yeah, I mean, routine is good though. I was gonna say shameless plug or shameless promo for like Arshita. She has her own her personal like social media. She's her own content creator, and you guys should definitely follow Arshita. Please, what's the tag?
It's my first name, not my last name. If you look up my first name, most likely that will pull it up on its own.
I was gonna say, guys, yes, please, definitely. But she does amazing. She's like posting every day. I always say I admire Sheeta for all that she does. And I think as like both women just figuring this out, I love how we're able to like really just like, how would I say, like learn from each other and
Yeah.
grow and push each other and inspire one another. And that's really like, I think what is the foundation of us and our girlhood is what really created this
Hmm.
podcast and what led us to the catalyst, I would say, to this
You know, that's the
podcast.
most beautiful part of postgrad, actually. And
Yeah.
also, like, not one that I like would see coming. Like a year ago, if I imagined
Mhm.
like what postgrad life was gonna look like, I don't know. Like I imagined our friendship, just because we weren't in the works yet. Like,
No, I mean, we could just even talk about that. Like
yeah.
the start of our friendship, the way how we've gotten, I think maybe a little part of trauma bond. We won't say no, but beyond that, there are a lot of like similarities and a
Yeah.
lot of we're very compatible in the sense that, oh my gosh, like I think our friendship blossomed just so beautifully in a way that I don't know how, but like I feel like it was day and night where we became truly like very close. I mean, the way we were already creating baskets, I say this, like we were doing all these like gifts, we were spending time like 24/7. Like I always say, like Arshida, in a way, healed the part of me from like with women friendships, especially because we will also divulge into that. And I think just friendships and in general, the hardships of it, being scared, right, when you're starting a new friendship. I really have thought about that, reflecting on that, but also like leaning into it and how beautiful girlhood and womanhood is. I think that's so like amazing, and we need more of that. But
I feel
yeah,
like our
our
friendship is one
friendship.
that like sets a standard in my eyes for like romantic, platonic relationships, whatever, even like familial relationships. The bar is so high thanks to like us that I think that's also changed a lot of like how I approach other people in my life too. And I think that's like a
Mm,
huge transformation from where I was like in undergrad mentally
hmm.
and the people that I was trying to impress or trying to befriend.
I think, like you said, I mean, the way that we've set the standard for me, I always say that, like, my friends treat me so good, I would not accept anything less than the way that, like, our Sheeta shows up. I mean, the way, like, we are just for each other, like, oh my gosh, I think that's why I said, like, she has healed, like, such a big part of me and within friendships and continues to do so. I mean, just the fact that, like, I mean, I'll just share this like quick story, but I was going through like a personal emergency, nothing crazy, everything is fine, thank the Lord, right? Not that, not get religious, sorry. You know, I don't know, but anyways, everything is fine. But in the midst of that, we had a call planned, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make the call. And this was planning for Penthouse as well, actually, like a planning meeting. And I'm just like in my own head, you know, I'm just like, oh, so sorry, like I wish I could make it. And Arshita is like, no, 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 I completely understand. Like the way that she just was like, girl, like obviously understandable, and then was like checking in on me. And she literally gave me the time that she had and was like talking to me and just felt it was so reassuring just being able to just converse with her. And I was like, the way that she like calmed my anxiety from like 100 to 0 and she doesn't even know it until like I was like, girl, the way that you just made me feel so calm. And I'm like, just having that shoulder to lean on, somebody that you can converse with. And I think that's so beautiful. The way Arshita and I, we would converse for hours on end and we wouldn't,
Yep.
I feel like, stop. And we're just like, girl, we're over here just talking, yapping. Like we would go to each other's apartment. Like, as I said, we would create all these like wonderful, like, creations because I say that from like the charcuterie boards that we've made to the food that we've created to like the arts and crafts, like the vision boards that we've done. I mean, the fans that we've done, like we've have like cute little arts and crafts, like um what is it? Just drawings that we've like painted, like also she does like creatively, like artistically, like just amazing. But I don't even know what to say. I mean, that in itself for me really is like she really built like a foundation that like, oh my God, like it's the standard, like how we show up for one another. And it's one of the many greatest things that I am very grateful for, I would say, post grad is still being able to have that friendship, have that depth of that friendship, I would say, and how strength, like how strong it is. Because I feel like a fear of mine was, oh my gosh, friendships, everybody's leaving, everybody's moving, and things are changing. This transition is not an easy one. I mean, I have friends who are in Texas, some in Florida, and I'm just grateful that, I mean, Ashita's like an hour away, but she's still in the same state, you know? And I think that to me is like everything. Being able to now just bring together both like our like I would say like us, and then also, what is it? Like our passions together. Now we're like co-hosts. I know. I'm like gushing about like our friendship. Like I'm like I can't like guys, please. This is about
Favorite
our
conversation
like
topic though. Favorite conversation topic.
but that's like also post grad, navigating friendships post grad. How does it look like when you have your 9 to 5? Because like I know you were talking about your day to day, and like it's really important that you make the time for them. And I love like you're saying socializing on the weekends. That's the same thing that I do. I was gonna say,
You're out and about. You're out and
oh
some of
my
your weekend
gosh,
schedules sound insane to me.
guys. Okay, listen. I'm trying to be very like I said, I feel like I'm like a work in progress. Like I'm a mess, but we have it together. We're how do I say? We keep it pushing, you know.
Yeah,
I'm
we do
always
keep
talking
pushing.
about And I'm always saying we keep life. We just I just gotta get my life together, you know, and I'm gonna get it together.
I've been saying this since August. Since we met.
Look, you know, honestly, yes. And I think that's probably been one of the things that keeps me going. And I'm like, because I am getting my life together, and getting your life together truly looks different. And I think I've been learning to be okay with that, learning to be okay where I'm at, and learning to be okay and give myself grace while not giving myself too much grace, because then sometimes we're enabling ourselves and we don't want to do that. But also being like, hey, it's okay, and really being grateful for what it is, like my day to day. Like I feel very fortunate enough that like I said that I was gonna be in high rises. I wanted my future to look like that. And low-key, I still see high rises. I'm literally on the weekends like in New York.
Oh, I know.
I was gonna say like, okay, so I guess we can go on a day of my life, right? I mean, we're gonna also have
Go
that
for
as
it.
like
Literally
a
go for it.
video.
Yeah.
But regular Monday through Friday is like a 9 to 5, like Rashida was saying. Similar, very like administrative. We do not need to go into the nitty gritty of it because I don't even want to go into the nitty gritty of it. I like to think about it from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. That's it. Matter of fact, if it could be 9 to 4:30 p.m., yes, I
Not on
promise you
paper.
that.
Not on paper. For legal reasons,
Right,
that's
right,
not true
right,
on
right.
paper.
Because matter of fact, sometimes I'm their leader, actually. They're not even gonna clock me because I will be there until 5:30, sometimes if not later. So I'm okay. But you know, that's the ideal, guys, and then that's the reality. See what we're talking about, and we have to work through the two of them. But I would say 9 to 5. From there, I volunteer, so I'm not going to go into what I volunteer and all of that, probably like personal. But that for me feels like more purposeful, and I do that every Tuesday. It's a group, and I do that for like an hour. I would say those are what like my Tuesdays look like. After my 9 to 5, I'm trying to go through everything. In the mix of this week, I sprinkle in because I'm really trying to also build like a routine, building more consistency, I think, because sometimes things just happen and kind of going, I don't know. I think for me, there's always something happening. There's something like I think Arshita can tell you this. Like I'm
Yeah,
like
there is always something happening. There,
I don't
sorry, there. Oh,
know
you always have something going on.
I don't know what it is. I swear, like I feel as though every time it's just like there's something, it's either me, a family member, or like, and I'm like just rolling with the punches in a lot of ways. I mean, there was just something that happened with like not my cousin directly, but like my cousin and a friend. And my cousin called me in the morning, and it was like a whole thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm waking up to a phone call already, guys. Like that's how, like that's what I'm saying. Like it's always something going on, and I think that's another thing. I don't know, like being the one that the person that people kind of go to when like things are happening or things in need. And as much as I love that and I want to be there for people, I one of the I think biggest lessons trying to learn right now is how to prioritize and what can I prioritize and putting myself first as well and like my goals and my aspirations in the midst of like also trying to be there for everybody else. But back to like my 9 to 5 and my day-to-day life. Sprinkling in there some gym. I like to go with my cousins. We do like lift days. My cousin, she goes like she's like a gym rat. I call her really. We do with her like we do lifts sometimes. Okay, I know this is crazy, but I never used to run before, guys. And my cousin, she
Okay,
was like,
okay.
we're gonna go for a run, and like I was like, oh. So we're starting that up. We're not doing no marathon. No, no, no. We're not that's not the post grad life that I envisioned for myself. I'll say that right now. I was never gonna go
Well,
to
it's an easy
marathon.
one to avoid.
Like, cause you're not gonna catch me. No, I'm telling you right now. No hate against marathons, guys. And whoever does them, I'm very proud of you, actually. I admire you and give you a round of applause. But
You just
me,
won't catch
no.
me doing it.
Heavy on that one. You will not catch me doing that. And what is it? But I'm just, doing little runs, I would say. Starting with that, like my cousin, one of them, she was talking about it. So I'm like, oh, within that, what else can I say? I visit my father regularly on like during the day as well. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm also, to be candid, like my parents are separated. And so we are able to like I always gush about my mother being a single mother because that woman has definitely done a lot for us. And she has, I say, pulled us from the trenches and up and continues to do so. And never underestimate a single mother or a woman. I would say,
No, her
like,
mom's incredible. Her mom is like so iconic. I love her.
thank you. I love that woman. I literally would like gush about her too. And I can't, I will start crying. I've been so emotional these past few days. Not the point.
Real, real. I've been there. I was there this morning.
I was like just crying. Like, it's okay. About what? We don't need to talk about
We
that,
don't need
but
to
it's
went to that part.
fine.
No.
No. Okay, sorry, before I continue to like what is
No, no,
it?
you're good. You're good.
Nine to
There's a lot of
five.
gems in there. And like definitely like we could pivot on to any topic from there too.
I was gonna say, yeah, from there, I guess like projects, I wouldn't say as not social media, not in that end. I will leave that to Arshita. Love her, and that's geared towards her. I like more so like my journaling. I do a lot of I don't know, I'm more into, I guess, like junk journaling, the arts, been doing like gem arts, things of that nature. Truly has been like, I really feel as though really working on my mental and taking on hobbies that help me because mental health is important, guys. We're going to talk about that. We're going to be very candid and open about it as well. I'll talk about
Oh
that
yeah,
right
and there's a
now.
lot there's a lot we could talk about there.
I think that's also one thing, like for me, I would say one of the biggest things I've also been not grappling with or trying to accept, but like being accepting of like my background, being accepting of my experiences and not being so harsh on myself for them. Not feeling, I guess, like guilty or like, I guess, requiring more rest than like another person or thinking, because I feel as though I'm consistently thinking like, oh, I need to do more, I need to do better. And like, are I need to prove myself and bite more than I chew, but like realizing, hey, it's okay to kind of slow down and it's okay to be like, you need to take a moment and take that breather and really, really working on that. I mean, it's why I've also, like Arshita was saying, I've been out and about because I've been enjoying my time. I mean, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to gush about my boyfriend, but like, oh my gosh, only
No,
a
you
little.
need to gush about your boyfriend because we're never getting the allegations if you don't.
This is true, actually. This is true because they're gonna think because I keep gushing about us, right? But like, what is it? My weekends are literally spent with my boyfriend. I mean, he's an amazing guy. I think that's probably one of the greatest, greatest things. I mean, like, if the podcast wasn't my rose, I would probably like name his as like one of my rose because
You can
truly,
have a rose garden. You can have a rose bush.
no, right? I feel like I just get like so like happy. I mean, like I'm always happy, like just talking about what is it like us and anything. But a lot of my time is spent with him. Not a lot. Ooh, weekends are spent with him, I would say, which is why I'm there on like the weekends in New York. We get to explore. I've explored quite a few places, and I can just say he is truly. I always say like he's my God, I don't even know where to begin about how I feel about him. Like, guys, like, I really just am so grateful and, like, really just amazed at how supportive and how great he is and, like, our relationship. And I mean, we just continue to strengthen it, we continue to build upon it. And yeah, he's not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. He knows that. I know that. No, stop. But no, I really just, I can't. I can't even I put into words, I guess, how it really is and how healing that has also been for me as well. And having this like support system truly has been like amazing because for me, like I always say, like he has like a rooftop and when we're on his rooftop and I'm like literally just gazing out at the stars and like we're looking at the city and it's just me and him and I'm like, wow, like this really is like this is it. Like I cannot envision like my life kind of like doing anything else really. And like he's the person that I envision doing it with. And that's so crazy to see because like Arshita knows had an aversion to men. I was like I cannot I did not want to deal with them actually. Okay. And here I am just like saying all these things about like my partner. But yeah, I mean I've never felt so I guess like the depth of how or the magnitude of what I feel for him is amazing and also like how he shows up like I said like that I feel that love as well from him and he makes me feel safe enough to feel this way where I'm not like do I need to be on defense or need to be like on attack mode and also in this day and age of like dating and like situationships and all of that y'all can keep that I I want my like where I'm at, guys. Like I think we were talking about this. Like the grass is greener where you water it. I mean, just like really having to pour into yourself. I say that. Enough about him, because this isn't about him. This is about us, and this is about our friendship and our podcast. But he is a part of my life, and that's something that I'm very grateful. He has become intertwined with my family. I spend time with my family on the weekends as well. Like I'm very much socializing, being with like if not him, like we have like our couple friends as well. Like I'm very much a family like gal. I'm spending time a lot with my cousins. We have like a family group chat. We're doing what is it? We have like Secret Santa planned, all these exciting things. But I would say that is kind of like a, I feel like, am I missing something? I was like, I don't know. I said like work, volunteer, personal, outside socializing. Trying to just go to more events. Like I recently went to this, oh my God, a symposium and like talking about the psychoanalysis of like fashion. Or should
We
we
gotta
gotta
talk
talk
about
about
that
that?
offline at some
I was
point.
I
We
was gonna
do,
say, can
yeah.
we? I was gonna say we need to talk about that because
Yeah.
that was so exciting. The way I was taking notes and like, oh my God, I just felt like my mind was astounded. And truly, like that has been my thing. Taking on projects. Oh my God, I've been really, I don't know, it's like a nerd alert, but like really taking on projects of more so not projects, but like what is it? Just like researching topics. Like I just want to become like or like researching like certain niche little topics and then becoming like well, like wow, like learning about them. And that's really what but I think that's just like when it's like a 1 a.m., 2 a.m. thing, and I'm like going down a rabbit hole and we're just like, why not? But we don't talk about that, guys. It's okay. We're trying to build better habits, better, sleeping habits, something like that. Building better
Something like that.
routines. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I could say. I like one thing that I would like to implement more. I don't know if there's something that like for you or Shida, what is it? More towards like, oh, I have been studying for my LSAT, guys. That's another thing. I did say that because I've been going to the library. Actually, I do remember that. I was gonna say I was just there. Actually, that's another thing. Not that it's not good, guys, but it just and then trying to go to events back at university or different things, wanting to build like go to law schools to tour them. That has also been in the works as well. Yeah, and thank you for joining me on my day in my life. I was like, please. I'm trying to think. Oh my gosh.
I mean, we can kind of pivot to talking a little bit um more about I guess lessons or takeaways we have. I know we're talking a lot about like the things that we do, the things that we've added to our lives, the things that like maybe aren't as part like much a part of it, but a lot of this is like our first
Hmm.
time doing it. Not necessarily those activities, but first time being out of school and like I'm trying to think of the best way to put it, but like adulting. It's like different to adult outside of
Yeah.
school than it is like inside of school.
Yes. I think
Um, and so I guess yeah, like when we talk about like what 6 months, like the last 6 months have been like the personal development in there too.
like to your point, how you said the adulting. Adulting, I think during college felt, I don't know, I don't want to say like a simulation, but low key felt like that for me because I think there were so many like I had more of a routine, more constraints. I was doing a lot more. Not that I'm not doing, no, I definitely was doing a lot more, more involved in clubs and like extracurriculars or also just like what is it? Yeah, like apart from our job as like our assistant resident life coordinators, ARLCs, we also had like our other jobs as well, like which was, girl, listen, we're all about doing better, hustling, and trying to keep ourselves busy. And I think that's the biggest thing about us is like we always want to stay busy. But what can I say about what is it? Challenges? Like what have like personal like growth, learning from I mean like learning how to manage my time. I know that sounds weird and I know they say manage your time, like you learn to manage your time better. But like truly like there's so much more like I guess when you pivot from or when you transition from high school to the college, right? There's like that's like transition in itself and you have at least still like your set classes, like things are like a little bit more set. But it's still being done by like the university or by like a club or something like that. You're not setting that up yourself. Whereas like now post grad, that's it's all on you. There are no excuses. There are no nothing. If you just don't do anything, you just don't do anything. And I don't know how to describe that. I don't know how to say that. I mean, you have to go out and look for whatever it is, these opportunities and whatever it is that you want to add to your life. And for me, I think this coincides with my like accepting, I guess where I'm at and accepting like not feeling guilty, not feeling shameful about it, and being like, okay, reframing my mindset of like, how can I pivot? How can I look at this from an angle of like, okay, what do I want to do? What do I need to add? How can I make that happen? And making it into like smaller steps because this goes back to me being paralyzed and wanting to do all these things. Oh my gosh, I feel like I want to do so many things. Like what I like am just starting right now is like the cusp of everything. But like I said, attending to myself and being great, giving myself grace at the same time in the midst of like what just day to day because you still have to adult, you still need to go to work, It doesn't matter if you have, I'm sorry, like a bad mental health day. Like it's like you still need to like clock in for your 9 to 5. And yeah, you can call in the PTO, I will say that, but it's not like you can't just skip a class like how it was before. Like, oh, like my professor doesn't take attendance, so it's okay. No, this is different. I think the stakes are a little bit higher, and I feel as though that becomes much more heightened, I would say, for me, or that has become much more like apparent, if anything. Really learning how to navigate, yeah, through, I mean, and even just reflecting, like, you really are the creator of your own world. I think for me, something that I always was like, oh, I would just be not wanting to enable like my bad behaviors and really like building that discipline. And it's hard when you kind of, I feel as though like college gave me a little bit more discipline. And I feel like now I'm like trying to find that momentum, if anything. I don't know. I don't know if that's Archie. I was like, I don't know what it's like. There's just so many. I'm like thinking back, like not that there's so many. There are a lot of good things, guys. Promise. Like
I would say
challenges.
pretty similarly. Like, I feel like when I was in college, I was on overdrive. I like look back and I can't tell you how I did half those things because I don't think I could do them right now where I'm at. But it's crazy because it's only been 6 months. It's not like I've drastically transformed as an individual in that time. And I think I'm in this weird limbo of like, I wanted to take a break after college because I knew it would be
Hmm.
better for my mental health to have like some time off from being like that hyper.
Yeah.
And now I can't seem to like get back on the horse. And I think it's a lot of what you were
Hmm.
saying of like, you're the only one in charge now. Like, you, like, how do I put
No
it? Like,
one's gonna
you
come
have to
to
be the
save
one to hold
you.
yourself accountable. No one, I mean, someone is taking attendance if you show up at work and like, you, like, but it's not the same thing, as being in school and taking attendance almost.
Yeah.
Because here you get like honestly, now that I think about it, it is kind of weird that I feel like there was less accountability, or the like you said, the stakes were lower in college. If you didn't show up to a
Hmm.
class or something, like you weren't getting fired. Like you would screw yourself over, but you weren't getting like fired. Whereas like now the stakes are higher, but I feel like the motivation's like lower.
I guess. But I mean, I can also like, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, no, you're good. You're good. I'm like thinking that at like now, and I don't know if it's because it's like self motivation and
Hmm.
like maybe in college when you had like a million different people and different activities to answer to. It was a lot easier than it is now where you have like
True.
one job and then your hobbies, but like no one's looking at your hobbies except you,
This is true.
kind of thing. Like I wonder if that's the reason.
Oh, there's not like that pressure, I guess, like the responsibility, I would
Yeah.
say, of like, okay, it's not just me. I'm also like showing up for other people in a
Hmm.
way. Like I'm also showing up like whatever it is, like our club, our extracurriculars that we did. Very much like you said, like I feel as though the stakes were lower in comparison to how it is now. And I think also one thing I want to talk about, like motivation is finicky. I would say
Yeah.
it's very like it comes and goes. Because there are days where like truly I'm like I have the motivation. I can take over the world. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can do it all. And truly, I feel like the most productive. I'm all of a sudden doing this, and I'm like, wow. But also being like, life doesn't operate in that manner every single day. And I think to you, what you were saying of like being in overdrive, being that like there was doing so much every day in college. Like, girl, you were doing that 5 year straight. Like, that's gonna take a toll on your body. And I think like realizing like, okay, like, yeah, it's been 6 months, but like that does like lead to burnout. And I feel as though we also are just like made to, I don't know, at least that's how I feel. Like we're just made to deal with it. Like you just have to deal with it and deal with the burnout. And I don't know, it's what leads a lot of people to just work their 9 to 5 because they can't do anything else. They can't even take on a personal project or they can't even, what is it, take care of themselves in another just by going to the gym, let's just go or going on walks. What is it? That's such a reality of like our day to day. And I would say like also like girl, applaud yourself for like the fact that even by like it may not look like what it is or we don't have like that entire self motivation, like you're still doing so much. And I think that's also like I don't know, like our podcast, like we want to do so many things. We have so many goals and aspirations, and like also realizing, like, hey, like there are so many things that we are feeling as well. Like it doesn't look like all sunshine and rainbows, despite the fact that it may look like that from the outside. And I think social media does a great job of like it's very performative. I'll say that, guys. Like we see things, and
Yo,
we
we do
don't.
the same thing when we push stuff out. Like
Like I was gonna say, I promise you, some of those things, like you don't know, like what happens behind the scenes in a lot of ways, right? And I think that's such a very common like rhetoric that like everybody says, like, but it really is true, and that's like our whole point. I think our goal of like wanting you guys, like our listeners, to feel, how would I say, like feel heard, feel like they're not just going through it by themselves, that this isn't just them, but like navigating your 20s, it is pretty difficult. Like it is, there's so much, it's complex. I mean, there's so many like facets that, what's it like? It's like, where do we even start from? Where to even like, because what is it? It all starts with motivation. But I would say also discipline. And actually, I want to bring this up because Arshita like said it. Taking discipline, what is it? Taking discipline and framing it in a different way. Instead of looking at it, I guess we have this very, not negative, but more so harsh or like discipline routine. And I think of like the gym. I don't know. I think of gym bros and like discipline, like that aspect. But more so like making it as like a promise to yourself. Think of discipline as like how you're showing up to yourself. And like the more that you show up to yourself for yourself, the more that you trust yourself, the more that you feel confident within yourself. I feel as though the more that you trust the decisions that you're making, the more that you're like knowing of who you are, you're more sure of your person. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I would, like, she is quoting me. But
I think Rashida does it best. Like she says it, but no, truly, because I mean, because I think of the way that we frame it, it can be so rigid, right? It could be so like just, I don't know, strict, and as if like there's no avenue or no room to like make mistakes or to grow when like every day like looks different, every moment looks different. I mean, you're not going to operate at 100% every single day, because there can be so many reasons. But like instead of framing discipline like, oh, I need to do this, but like making your promise, hey, like, well, you wanted a better life, you want this, or you have this goal and aspiration, and you're making that promise to complete that. So what are the steps and then you are then taking for that? And I think it makes it easier when you have people that share that goal with you. It makes it easier when you have a community and you have a support system behind you. I mean, like supporting you and empowering you and pushing you to grow, right? You want people like that in your community. And I think that's also something we want to talk about. We said that friendships for sure. But how does that like also look like? I mean, gosh, like, I mean, what could probably be like our biggest takeaway, we would say, from like these 6 months, like post grad?
I think you heard it from me before, and this kind of like goes back to like what you were just talking about.
Hmm.
But like, I think the biggest thing is kind of just redefining like what doing your best means. Because I think like I mentioned earlier, I felt like I took a break and I needed it, but I didn't get back up to where I wanted to after that. Like from going as someone who was very high achieving and like wanted to do all these things to not wanting to do any of it at all under the guise of just like being on break. Like I don't really need a 6 month break and I keep giving it to myself. So I think I told you this too about how I keep towing the line of like, because I'm not achieving things, I don't feel great about myself in the same way because it was so much easier to achieve things in college than it has been doing it on your own afterwards. And so I'm trying to like get to the little like thing I told you once about how you kind of just have to ask yourself like, have I actually put in like everything I was supposed to and have I done my best for the day? And I think asking that question is what's getting me towards getting out of my slump post grad, of being like, if you want to accomplish the things that you like set yourself out to do but you're not like putting any effort into it, you're not putting any time, like are you just like saying things that you want to do basically? Like I think that's what's like stopping me from quitting when I want to, when I don't see results, which is kind of like a harsh reality right now.
Oh, you were saying though, if you haven't tried again, if you, what is it, if you didn't really fulfill or if you didn't do your best on the day or today, then you don't have, I'm so sorry, but you can't give up. You're gonna try again the next day. Not in that manner, but really looking at it from that perspective, because the way that I see it, if now you're just playing into your bad habits, you're just playing into like you're enabling yourself, and I think you're really just becoming a victim of your own mind. And this is like the whole victim mindset, which I'm not gonna say like obviously you want to feel your feelings and you want to feel for yourself and you want to give yourself that time and that reflection, but to not like sit in that, what is it, or a sorrow or sit in that sadness or whatever it may be feeling, and instead like, okay, how can I pivot? How can I look at this from a different angle? And like you said, like what Arshita's saying best, if you haven't done your best, if you didn't really put your full part, I mean, then you really are there to try again the next day. And it's another day. It's another day for you to try again. And it's another day for you to start over again. And I think it's another day for you to really create you who you are again. Like, there are no limits, really. I mean, we always say this, like, we are the creators of our own world. We create what we want. And I think of this like, I think of it, I don't know, this came up to my mind, but like embarrassment, right? It's only embarrassing if you feel embarrassment. Like it's like, can you create that, right? And it's like, what do you consider embarrassing? How do you act? And it's like, but when you are just like, I don't know, you're able to make fun of yourself or do things of that nature, then that embarrassment lessens. And I don't know, I guess I'm trying to relate that and like trying and like every day is a new day for you to start anew, for you to really just try again. And I don't even know what else like, I'm so sorry, but you guys can't quit. Like, that's really what it is. Like, we have so many goals, so many things to accomplish. And I feel as though also, like, being who we are, like being high achievers, is why we strive for the best, is why we strive to growing. And I always say, I don't know, I always say this too, where like it may not ever feel enough in a weird way, but you have to celebrate those wins. And the reason why it may not feel enough is because like I always say this, but like you're always raising the bar. And so it's not going to feel that way because you reach it and then you're just like, oh wait, but the bar is now raised again and the bar continues to be raised. And so sometimes instead of looking at like where we're at, like at this point, like we're right here and it's like, oh my gosh, there's still so much to do, like we look at the bigger picture and be like, but wait, like look at how much we have actually grown and how much we have done. And like we maybe took a little step back, you know. I know Arshita's saying like feeling unmotivated because same. I literally feel like I'm so tired. I feel like I don't have like even the want to do it. And I'm like having to push through that like feeling of like, no, but I don't want to do it. But like I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'd rather take a nap. And I'm like, but that to me is I'm also just avoiding. Like I'm just like I think just avoiding what I need to do. And I always say you have to choose your heart. You have to choose your life because either way, your life is going to look the way it looks because of your own decisions. And it can be hard and you can hate it because you didn't take the actions or the necessary steps to really create yourself a better life. Not like that, but like obviously. Or it can be hard and you're going to make sacrifices and it's going to suck for a little bit, but at least you're living the life that you want or the life that you really aspire to have, right? And that to me, I think really is, I try to say keeps me going because I was like, well, no, girl, you still have more to accomplish. You still have so much more to do. And I think like for me, like I've always been like trying to find a balance because I'm always like two extremes. Like I'm gonna too much of this or too less of this. I'm like, guys, where's the balance? And really like I'm sorry, like it's kind of like what do they say? It's like you fall back up, you just gotta get back on, like honestly. And it really coincides with the what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I think it really builds our resilience. I mean, I say what we've been through, who we are as women, like who we are as people, like that wasn't created just like day and night. That was brought us like our wisdom and everything we're talking to you guys is because of our experiences and we've been through things. And I mean, we're just super excited to just really like, I don't know, give you guys insight into our life and into our worlds and our minds. I think more than anything as well, really. And excited to see like where this brings us. I mean, I don't know, 6 months is crazy. So this is 6 months post grad. Like I can only imagine what 6 months in the future or even the new year would look like. I know we have our vision boards. I think that's going to be a date too, like to do our vision board night because we have to do it again for the following year. And really fine tuning, I would say, like those goals, right? And whatever projects that we have, including the podcast. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. What are some things that we can look to the future, I would say?
I honestly I'm in this position where like I have my plans written out, but I haven't bought into them.
Hmm.
Because like every single, like, I don't know, maybe I'll wake up in the morning, I'll be like, today's the day, and then I'll be like, oh, but I'm gonna snooze, and then by the time I get up after snoozing, then like all the time that I wanted to set aside for like those projects kind of goes out, and then
Mm.
it turns into a whole cycle of like, but I'll do it again tomorrow. And so I think the plans that I have set in place for myself about like making like social media work for me, like making an impact on my community through like the AI project that I have running right now,
Mm.
making sure that I'm investing everything that I do have into the job that I currently have and like delivering my best that I can there, even if it's not, again, like necessarily what I wanted, but like showing up as my best version there anyways.
Yeah.
I think the thing I'm looking forward to is actually making myself do that. And I
Mm.
think in that process, kind of becoming someone that I like am proud of and like not even like a self-loathing like kind of way right now. It's just like I'm not where I want to be right now, and there are things that I can control to get me there that
Mhm.
I'm not doing, notwithstanding the things that I can't control. So like I can only do so much about my job and everything, but I
Yeah.
also am not doing the best when it comes to like making myself the person I want to be, like being that disciplined, like self-respecting kind of person that I'm aspiring for. So I think, yeah, that's what my next 6 months looks like, getting myself there at least, doing the most on the parts that I can control.
It's like focus on what, like you said, focus on what you can control and and don't focus on what you can't
Yeah,
control because those are like non-controllable factors and that's outside of your realm,
yeah,
like at that point. But I know I like that. I think like honestly, where I'm at right now, I feel like I'm just tired of my own bullshit. So
I'm
sorry,
same,
sorry.
same. I'm so
I
I'm like
like
over myself.
I really just I think I was actually thinking about that today where like I don't know, I was just like reflecting on like a life, I guess, like where I'm at and where I want to be. And I go back to this, like for example, my career and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, but what am I doing about it? Am I taking the time to reach out to people, let's say even on LinkedIn? Like that's just one thing, right? Am I taking the time to look at the other opportunities? And I'm like, girl, you're complaining, or you're not even complaining because I try not to complain to people, but like even if you're venting, let's go with that, venting or complaining. But what are you doing about it? And I'm like, I'm tired of my own BS. Like to be quite honest, like I say like, oh, I want like a good score, right, for the outside. Okay, well, what are you doing about it? And I'm like, okay, that's why I literally my ass. I need to stop coursing. I took my behind to what is it, the library, and started really like, Arjuna, please.
Sorry.
Started really like okay, like this is my plan. All right, like this is what it is. These are my goals. Okay, a really big, I guess, like goal for me is like financial health, like making sure I'm financially stable, like because I do want to eventually like move out, and that's something that's like a part of my goal. But like, okay, what does that look like in terms of finances? Yeah, I mean, really getting like honestly everything that's been on my vision board, like accomplishing like that or having that in the works of like, okay, I'm taking the steps or. I think just making it more manageable. I feel as though sometimes we look at, I don't know, I'm always like focused on the bigger picture and then like, okay, but how am I gonna get there? And really just maybe for me, I would say like looking forward to like, I guess like I want to do, I say this, but like doing an audit of my life and then like, okay, what are these areas, these facets, and like, okay, what do I need to pour into more and what have I not been pouring into enough? Yeah, like I'm really just more so also excited to get on myself, like really be like, okay, no, you're done. Because I think sometimes I give myself too much grace, and I'm like, oh no, it's okay, but I'm like, no, like you're done. Like you need to get on it, girl. And I think that's what I'm also looking forward to, like the new, I guess, attitude or mindset that I'm looking forward to embody to then create truly the life that I want. I'm always about being a better version of myself, of being a better person, not only for like relationships like but also for ourselves and because how you show up for you is like then how you can show up for others and how you then show up in the world. I mean, I always say like I think Archie and I we have the same thing. We want to help every way any way possible. We want to make a difference and how we make a difference, hey, like that's what we're trying to find our way. That's the whole point of navigating your 20, finding a way to make an impact. And I always say you're going to make an impact any way shape or form even if it is on one person. I learned that through being an RA actually, and I remember them telling me that, and I thought that was BS. I was like, no, like they don't care about me. Like these residents are never paying attention to me. And I will never forget, like there was this girl who would always come to the desk and be like, just like yapping, and I was like, oh my God, like we just talk and whatnot, and we were just like engaged in a quick conversation. She was telling me about how she was doing in like her calc class, yeah, something like that. And I will never forget at the end of the year, she comes, we just like saw each other in passing, we were walking, and she's like, Pam, like, can I like talk to you? And I'm like, yeah, like what's going on? I'm like, oh my God, like, congratulations, like, girl, like, on to the next year, congratulations to me, like, I'm not anymore an RA. And she was like, but then I realized she was like, no, like, Pam, I really want to thank you. Like, you don't know, like, how much like you really helped me or were there for me even in terms of those conversations. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that is just like by making an impact but just giving somebody, I guess, like an ear. like just having listening to them, a shoulder to lean on, just holding space, truly. I mean, it's something that like I don't know, like we make an impact everywhere we go, and Arshita and I were wanting to make even a bigger impact. And we have like these goals like that we're so excited to also share and also share with you guys as time progresses and like dive deep into like everything that we have done, everything we are doing, and everything we are looking forward to doing. Um, because like all of, oh my gosh, our experiences, we really just be bouncing off one another because there's just so much happening. I feel like it's an everyday thing, guys. I'm excited. I mean, I want to say give gratitude to where we are right now and like to look forward to what it is that we're doing. And like Arshita said, we haven't done our best today. Well, we're going to continue again tomorrow. And that's how it's going to be every day. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I think I wanted to add to my like other goal 6 months from now is like I feel like because you mentioned the vision boards, I feel like I have the same things on my vision boards every single year, which means that I'm not accomplishing the things that I want to over a year.
Mm,
So the thing I'm looking forward to is having a completely new vision board, completely new goals as progressions of ones that I've achieved rather than just repeats.
I like that. Okay, guys, we're reinventing ourselves. It's never, what is it? Never too late to reinvent who you want to be. I always say that. And I think that's something like the self-concept of yourself. Like, don't attach yourself to what is it, what expectations or standards that other people have of you or other people have met you or a version of you that they have met because you have also transformed just from your day to day, from your interactions. And I really like the fact that, like Arshita's saying, like, okay, this is something that like, I want to have new goals, new aspirations, and new what is it? A new vision board. Yes, girl. I'm excited. Okay, I know we were talking about looking to the future, our future plans and how we want to accomplish our goals and just accomplishing everything on our vision board, right? So to that, how are we going to hold ourselves accountable?
So I would say for me personally, I feel like I'm doing my best. Like I show up as my best, I show up as my most productive, and I show up as like my most passionate. If I feel like the work that I'm doing is bettering like someone else, not in like a I can't do it for myself kind of way, but like I
Mm-hmm.
want to be of service to other people. I feel like every
No.
career path I've ever been interested in, I've always wanted to do it to help other people.
Mm,
And it's like a realization that I've come to terms with, like as a more recent, honestly, with the help of my therapist.
that's all, guys.
And so I think the way that I'm gonna hold myself accountable is just reminding myself when I don't want to do things of like who is impacted by my decisions
Mm,
beyond me. Like if I'm not waking up on time and I'm not sticking to routines, like I don't feel great about myself. That manifests in how I like show up for other people. It manifests in my interactions with them.
mhm.
It takes me away from like the careers that I do want to have where I am going to be helping people, etc., etc. And I think just reminding myself of that and making that like they always say remember your why, but I feel like for me it's like remember your who.
Mm.
I think that's probably what's going to get me there.
No, I really do like that because to your point, it's what holds you accountable. I always say like the body doubling thing. It's like when
Yeah.
we're doing work and like we're holding each other accountable. I think for me, within that same notion, like having my support system, I would say I always, if they're in the know of what it is that I want to do and what it is I'm trying to accomplish, they really do kind of guide me towards like, okay, hey, like remember you want to do this? Because I know sometimes like for me, I can have all these like mindset changes and shifts and but sometimes your mind is like your worst enemy, I will say that. And as somebody like the mind loves to play tricks on you too sometimes. And for me, I guess like knowing or having a community that is on the same page of like what it is that I want in a weird way like holds me accountable because I'm like, okay, like they know of my goals. They know what it is that I want to do. And if I'm not fulfilling that, if I'm not doing it, it makes me feel like I'm a failure or I'm not good enough. And I know that's a weird thing. And that's something that we're also going to talk about because you shouldn't feel that way. Like if you aren't accomplishing your goals, but to that as well, like, what is it? It's not a good feeling. I feel like the feeling, it's for me, I always said it's gonna suck either way, and I'm gonna have to sit with both emotions. Which emotion would I rather sit with, and in what environment would I rather sit in? Or I guess what it is that how would look my life to look like and holding myself accountable. I mean, like Yeah, the people, for example, one of the examples I can bring is like for law school, like the LSAT studying for that. Like my family knows I go to the library and I try to study. And so if they see me that I'm not in the library, oh, what are we doing? Like what's going on? And I think those are my little things without it feeling too intrusive as well. But knowing that it comes from a good place and also that I asked for that, I would say, right? Journaling has really been one of my biggest things, I would say, that has, in a weird way, held me accountable because I've been building that habit, and building that habit has made me feel like I've been building trust within myself, and like building that has also made me feel like, okay, I can trust my mind, I can trust, like, I need to grow through this, and I'm like building more like positive thoughts, positive mindset to like create the world that I want to create and give myself, I would say, that accountability as well. So yeah, I feel like that was such a convoluted like answer, but and I keep just going in circles. Don't worry, by I think like in a few months, guys, we're not gonna talk in circles. We're gonna figure it out to be more concise
You
or
gotta
something
start
like
somewhere.
that.
You do have to start somewhere.
We're all like we're just going through it. But I think yeah, I feel as though honestly we both know what we need to do. We both know where we're at. We both know where we want to be. We both have these intentions, and really, it's like about taking action. And also, this to this, I don't know, Arshid, if you kind of like feel this, but sometimes I used to really struggle with perfectionism, and like I'm like, no, I need a plan, and I need to perfect, and I need to do this, but I'm like, and it would hinder me from then actually taking action, or it would hinder me from actually doing something because I'm like, no, 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 I'm still planning, or I'm in those stages and being like, no, no, no. Like holding myself accountable of like, doesn't matter, just do it. Just however it looks like, just do it. Um, so yeah, I mean, and here's to also like you guys, this podcast holds us accountable. It holds our dreams accountable.
No, because we kind of gotta get our lives together if we're gonna talk about them with you.
Right, I'm so sorry, but we cannot like come up here and like have our lives be a disastrous like mess and be like, oh,
But we're
yeah,
gonna
guys.
publicly endorse it.
And you guys are going to be here for the progression. I mean, we're truly excited to bring you along this journey of like what our lives are looking like and what it is going to look like. And this is only the first of so many more episodes. And we really cannot wait. I don't know, like what else I could even say, guys.
It might be a natural time to sign off for this letter.
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
Are we signing off?
I think so. I think we've written a couple pages. Give them a chance to get through.
This is true. So it's been absolutely wonderful. I mean, it's been a great time. So, Arshita, would you like
Yours
to,
truly,
Pam?
and Arshita.
Yay. You know what we should